doesn't teach you to do what you cannot account for. And I appreciate the youth, and I challenge the youth that is here with me today, that draw up your agenda and say this is what we want to do with the opportunity given to us about June the 16th. And this is how we will measure it. And this is how we will demolish the yearly song and chanting that goes about, and the people that go to stadiums and tell us what we know, without committing that into paper and saying, from here henceforth, we will act in this fashion. I always say, when the sea shines, when the sun shines onto the sea, it is each and every droplet that is responsible for the shine. And I've just had my famous talk. This guy called Mzege Zege. He was in one of the occasions there talking to the youth, and I just saw it a little on TV there, and he said, a journey of 1,000 miles start with just one step. And that is my popular saying that I always say to my students, that start now. Even if it is just a journey, even if it's just one step, one day it will be a journey. This is a baton. When the June 1976 people as students, I was part. And hopefully I'll tell you a little about that. I'm not talking what others have done and I did not do it. I'm talking. And I felt so full. I felt so embarrassed. I felt so deprived that my voice is not part of this country, and I was a child of this country. That my voice is not part of this country. And at one stage, I lived a life like one guy, Gushe, who was a sniper and a soldier of the ANC, said, Umawi soldier, you no longer have a life. If you come back home alive, that's a bonus. Because you sign that you are a dead man. I had at one stage signed that I was a dead man. I'm alive today. It's a bonus. It is God's plan. But I did not. You know, the issue of education is always last on the agenda of a student. And that to me, it's a problem. Because the first agendas are other things. Education comes last. And we cannot conquer this world and conquer anybody else without going through education. I was lucky. I'm told this gathering here is about the TVETs. And for a moment, I said, there is also another newcomer into the TVET sector, into the higher education sector. You know about TVET, you know about universities and universities of technology. But the minister has entrusted into me to be part of the people that are changing now what you call or what you used to call the ABED into a community education and training college. I'm the chairperson of the Community Education and Training College in Mpumalanga. It's a new concept. I'm appealing to the TVETs to accept this new baby and to work with us. I have a vision for this college sector, the same way that I had a vision for the TVETs. I was a principal of the TVET College Mpondo Zankomo. I was the first black person to be employed in the historically technical colleges on the 7th of January 1994 in Witbank College. I can write my history henceforth, how we changed those technical colleges to FET colleges. And later on, how you carried the baton and did not build your lager and stayed there, but continued and said, this that Pudi, Hele, or whoever has ushered to us, we will continue. I have an article that I wrote. If you look into my website, incidentally, sorry, I love education so much. Forgive me, I have to stop at one stage. I know I've been given 10 minutes. I will stop sooner. I love education so much. I don't know, dear people, what to say. I love education so much. No wonder I'm being called professor. I love education so much. And I have observed the gaps that however good we try to do this education, there'll always be gaps. And because of that, I have my own college that is busy being registered, the TVET college, a private college. And the purpose of this college is nothing other than to look at what the other colleges cannot do. To look, I actually, when I was speaking to my people, I say, this is a college of scavengers. We want those dead bodies, those people who people say cannot pass. That's what we want. And we want to further prove that we can tell and draw blood from a stone. And that is the college. It's called PM College. Mark the space. You'll hear about it because I'm very determined to make it known. And I'm appealing to the PM, to the other TVET college to work hand in hand with me, not because it is me, but because of the ideologies and the vision that this PM college is carrying to totally transform this sector and to totally transform our country and ourselves. I love education, and that is why everything that I do is surrounded with the fact of education. And when I talk to my children, I say, one day, when I'm no more, the thing that I have to be remembered about should be education. And it would be such a good thing if inside my grave, inside my box there, you can put just a few books so that my head can rest there. Jesus Christ said it. Birds have got nests and the foxes have got holes, but the son of man doesn't have anywhere to put his head. I want my children to put my head onto the books I wrote, the information that I left for you. And when I wrote this book, I have 2 books that I've written about Mpumalanga. I'm sorry, I might be digressing. But again, it was the same philosophy that I have. I'm not going to do what you are doing because I'm not you. I'm going to do what you are not doing whilst you are doing what you are doing. Because that's a gap, that's a niche. And when everybody's writing books about Mandela and about Chris Hani, about Soweto and all that, what about the other building blocks? The people that were not in Soweto, but have contributed to the uprising. Those that in my books I call the nobodies. And they said, you're writing a book about nobodies. Who will read that book? I say, it is not about who is in the book, just like it is not about who writes that book, but it is about what is in the book. And what is in the book, to me, it's bits and pieces of the building blocks of what we have to know as South Africans going forward. I have written a book about poetry. I saw my students every time when we had an occasion, they used to come to the front just to break the ice. A person would recite and do that. I said, come here. Do you want to write the book? Say, I cannot write the book. I say, if you cannot write the book, you can be in a book. Bring that poem here. I will edit that poem for you and put it in a book. I have a book written with my students. It's called, what is it called, Spielman? Rhyme and
Rhythms of Emalahleni.
Something like that. Of the Coal City poems and rhyme, which I wrote with my students. But when I did that, I also got a challenge from the very students. Does TUT in Pretoria do it? See that mentality? I cannot do what's not done. I cannot be the first. And my students are being hamstrung by that mentality. Before it can happen, it must have happened in Soweto first. Before it can happen, it must have happened in Pretoria first. Such that they even shun away from brilliant ideas that can make them to be better than what Soweto is. Soweto is not better because of its location, but because of the few people within Soweto that stood out and came to the front. And I'm appealing to you, the people of Mpumalanga, that this is the province, this is the time, this is you, this is me. Together, we can do better for ourselves and for others. Please do not forget others. I like this thing. I like that. I used to say to my students, the purpose of life is to help others. And if you can't help them, please don't hurt them. That is my philosophy. I don't know, Chairperson, can I step off because I will roll on like a talk. Thank you very much.
Once a teacher, always a teacher. Yeah, good lessons, Dr. Pudi. We really appreciate. I think we as youth in this gathering, we have also grasped some of the things that we are going to share with our colleagues outside this meeting. I think this day has been exhausted also with interaction between ourselves and also with the ministers, with the deputy ministers that were here. So I will allow one of our guests to say one or two things to us.